Hello. Have you ever considered what a tremendous combination your mind and a personal computer make? The human mind is capable of incredible memory, but your computer, with its limited electronic memory, can actually help you fix facts in your mind. Magna Media has many educational programs to enable your computer to be your teacher. This one is called Memory Aide. On this side of the cassette, we explain how to use this program. On the other side, the computer code is recorded. If you don't need instructions, you can turn this cassette over and rewind it now. If you already know a lot about computers, some of these instructions will seem very elementary, but don't be insulted, okay? We need to explain some things for people who are just getting started. Now, once the program is loaded, type the word run, R-U-N, and press return. We always have to press return in order to send a message back to the computer. As soon as you have done that, the screen will say Memory Aide. Type the passage one word at a time, press return after each word. When done, type 0 and press return. Now, what all this means is that whatever it is that you plan to memorize, whether it's a scripture verse or a passage from Shakespeare or the Gettysburg Address, you'll type it in one word at a time. Type the word and then press return after each word. Now, there are exceptions to this. If it's a long word, longer than 10 spaces, break it up into 2 parts and hyphenate it, just like you would if you came to the end of a line. If they're very short words and you want to get more than 48 words into the passage that you want to memorize, then you can put 2 words together on the same line just by typing them normally, like this space is, and then hit return. And the computer will treat that as if it were one word. If you type 48 different entries, the computer will automatically start the program for you. But if you have finished your passage before you get to 48, then type 0. Just the number 0 and press return. That's a code to the computer that it's time for you to start. Once you have done that, it gives you a list. It says, what shall we do? Look at the verse. Number 2, say the verse a word at a time. 3, let the computer prompt me. 4, leave out part of the verse. 5, leave out more of the verse. 6, leave out most of the verse. And 7, start over. Now 7 means, if you choose number 7, it means that you are through with the program and it will end. So you won't type that unless you're all through memorizing whatever it is that you type in. Number 1 shows you what the verse will look like or what the passage looks like just by printing it all out on the screen. If you want to see it, type the 1 and then press return. The computer will then list out all of the words that you've typed in, and at the bottom of the screen it will say, study the verse, then type return. After you've looked at it for a while, and by the way, we suggest that you say the words out loud to try to memorize. After you've done this, type return, and the computer will give you your list back. What shall we do? Look at the verse, say the verse a word at a time, and so on. Now we suggest that you try number 2. Now you can do these in any order, but this is a good way to do it. Try number 2, which says say the verse a word at a time. You press the 2 and then return. After you press return, the screen will say the computer will give you each word. Try to say the next word from memory. When you want to see the next word, type return. And then you'll notice right under that, the very first word of the passage that you typed in is just sitting there, and there's a flashing box alongside of it. The thing for you to do at this point is to try to say the next word from memory. Now, when you're first starting, you might not be able to do that, so just press return. And after you press return, then it shows you what the next word really is. At that point, try to say the next word from memory. And don't feel bad if you don't get it right, because all of this is setting it in your mind as you do it. After you have finished the entire passage, after you press return the last time, the question will come up, do you want to do it again? If you type yes, 1, in other words, type the number 1 and then return for yes, it will do the same thing again. That is, it'll give you each word one at a time. If you say no by typing 2 and return, you go back to your list. This way you can choose another one. Suppose now that we want to try number 3, let the computer prompt me. If you're back at the list, you type number 3 and then return. This time it says, how fast will you say the verse? 1, fast, 10, medium, 20, slow. And then in parentheses it says, choose any number from 1 to 20. That means that you can, well, actually you can choose a 0 if you want to, or a higher number, but for practical purposes, if you choose 1, it will list it out very fast. If you choose 20, it will list the words very slowly. And the object of this is that as the computer automatically puts it out at a steady pace, one word at a time, you will try to say the word before it appears, just the same way that you did manually under number 2, but this time the computer is pacing you. At the beginning, you'll want to choose a slow rate, like maybe 15 or 20, and when you're all through and you're pretty sure that you know the passage, then you'll come back to this and you'll try it fast with a 1 or a 2. And if you can say it ahead of the computer, then you're pretty sure that you know it. After you've done all of this, then you go back to your list. It says, do you want to do it again? You say no, press 2 and return. It goes back to the list. Now there's another type of practice here. Numbers 4, 5, and 6 on the list say leave out part or more or most of the verse. Now this is a very helpful tool in memorizing, where the computer actually leaves out some of the words at random. So if you're just beginning to learn, type 4 and then return, and you'll see that it leaves out maybe 1 or 2 of the words. Now it's not definite how many words it'll leave out. Sometimes on 4 it doesn't leave any out. Sometimes it leaves out more than other times, but it does it on a random choice. And you just try to say the whole passage, including the blank spaces that are left there. Take